Three, two,
Jeremy here with Velocity Studio Mix, here to help you create your own studio quality mix in minutes. Now in this episode, we're talking about how to get those great sounding orchestral type instruments like cellos, violins, and even brass instruments on your next project. Now, a quick disclaimer, I'm not a keyboard player and I'm definitely not a violinist. Having said that, there's several plugins and software out there that can help you easily get what you're probably looking for on your next project. So our question of the week is, what's your favorite strings/orchestral instrument plugin? Be sure to leave your answers in the comments section. This really helps everyone out, including myself, because there may be something someone suggests out there that will even work better. So I'll be coming at the subject in the most non-technical way as possible. When I'm thinking about stringed or orchestral instruments, I'm thinking about one of two things to start with. First, I'm thinking about an actual big symphony production and all the instruments involved. Recently had the opportunity to attend a symphony in my area where they performed Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Now, I'm a big rock guy. I really love guitar-based music, always have and always will. But I'm telling you, the reverberations off the walls of that concert hall and seeing and hearing a symphony that night live and in person was absolutely amazing. The sounds of strings, piano, woodwinds, bass, brass, horns, and drums, absolutely breathtaking no matter what genre of music you prefer. Now, secondly, when I'm thinking of strings or orchestral instruments, I'm thinking of individual instrument tracks for a violin or cello and the supportive role they play in the artist's arrangement on the tracks or the album or the song. Now, you may have only noticed a few songs with orchestral instruments, but now that you deliberately are thinking about it, there's many, many songs out there. Maybe they're just hidden in the mix. So I divide these up into four main categories just to make it easy on myself. Honestly, there may be more than four categories, and sometimes they cross over during various points of the song. Category number one is orchestral effects. I call these the connectors. Maybe they're in the foreground, maybe they're in the background. I'm going to give you several examples for each of these categories that you can go back and listen to these songs in Spotify or wherever you listen to your music at. First example is Skillet and their song Rebirthing. And it's a great example. In the intro of this style or genre of music, they have strings, and then all of a sudden comes in all the other instruments of the song as the song starts. Another example is the song Unforgiven by Metallica. You maybe remember there's some type of brass or trombone sound holding one note for maybe one bar or two bars before an acoustic guitar comes in and a bell rings, okay? And then Foo Fighters, the song I Am a River, about a minute or a minute and a half left in this song, an absolutely song that builds all the instruments till all the instruments are playing, and about a minute to a minute and a half left in the song, there's an all stop, and then all the instruments come in, including a string section that crescendos till finally they come to an all stop after about a minute left in that song. Category number two, main melody. These are the essential instrument melody of the song. It's in the foreground or background, but you can hear that the stringed or the orchestral instruments are playing the main melody of the song. And in this, I'm thinking about Kashmir from Led Zeppelin. You need to go back and listen to that. I mean, it's a famous line. Everybody loves to play this, but you can't really tell the difference between the rhythm guitars and the orchestral strings or horns or whatever the sounds are. It's all one big main melody that they're playing together, okay? Category number three are chord pads. Now, this is a more supportive role, a background role. And in this, I'm thinking of where A Beautiful Day by U2 or The Temptations has the song My Girl. And it's where you're playing the actual chords of the song, maybe F, G, C, A, whatever. But you're just playing the main chords of the song, and that's chord pads. Now, category four is very different from that. Instead of playing the main chords of the song, it's what I call gap filler. Okay, and it can be in the foreground or the background. But while the main chords of the song are being played, the actual orchestral strings or orchestral music in the background is gap filling all those main chords. And for that, I'm thinking of the example U2 song, All I Want Is You. Now, this song, it starts off with just vocals and guitar, so it takes a while till it gets there, but there's an entire orchestra production in this song, and it's playing entirely through gap filling all the chords through this song. Dua Lipa's song Dance the Night Away has a main melody that it's playing the entire time, and it's gap filling as well. It's not just playing main chords, it's gap filling. And then One Republic's Secrets is another song that is gap filling through the entire song. It's not just playing main chords, but it also has its own main melody. And then Lenny Kravitz's song It Ain't Over Till It's Over has a main strings melody, and it's not just playing chords, it's playing an actual melody production through the entire song. So now what we're going to do is move over to our DAW and show you how we've placed some of these plugins on the tracks, and we'll talk about that more coming up next. All right, let's get right into it. First of all, we're going to talk about MIDI keyboard controllers. That's the device that's going to allow you to actually play the strings or organ or piano or whatever virtual instrument that you're trying to play. And then we'll talk about the plugins. So there's different formats, different brands of these, different prices, obviously. And you can get cheap ones or expensive ones. It really doesn't matter. It's more of what you desire and what you want. Now, there's large ones like 88 key and I think 61 keys that you can actually put on a stand, its own stand, okay? All the way down to there's a 49 key, which I prefer the most, where you can slide that under your desk in the keyboard drawer, okay? Or there's a 32 key or a 25 key that you can actually fit on your desktop if you've got the room for it, because there's only, a smaller amount of keys, so you can fit it on your desktop. So that's called a MIDI keyboard controller. It plugs straight into your computer by way of USB, and there's plenty of videos on the internet, on YouTube, to be able to show you your particular brand, how to hook it up in your DAW, depending on what DAW you're using. Really easy, just a few clicks, and then you're ready to go. So now let's talk about plugins. There's some stock plugins on different DAWs that you can use. And there's also some more higher end, inexpensive, but higher end packages that you can get that we're going to talk about. One we're going to talk about is the Expand. We're going to take a few moments and talk about that, the Expand package. And then there's another package that I like to talk about is the Complete or Contact by Native Instruments. Absolutely love those. And there's different tiers. I think there's a free version, there's standard, and there's even all the way up to a collector's ultimate pack, which I have. And there's not only just strings, but there's horns, there's keyboards, there's guitar, bass, and even effects. There's all kinds of stuff on there. So first of all, let's talk about a stock plugin. Again, it doesn't matter what DAW you're on, that's up to you. But I'm going to play you really quick a track here that has some cello. In this purple area here are my strings. Here's my keys over here, the organ and piano. So we're going to look at the strings. We have cello 1, cello 2, a violin, and then something I've labeled fast, which is really just a cello that the bow action is going back and forth really fast, okay? So we're going to play that really quick. Let me hit our intro. And this is done with a cheap stock plugin. Okay, here's the intro. Cello, violin, then in comes the electric guitar, a little bit of organ. And then the full band. Okay, so you get the idea here. It's just a track with cello, cello 2, violin, and then later on the track, you haven't heard it yet, but then a fast bowed cello. Okay, so this is a product called Expand. I'm gonna inactivate that one. Okay, and so here's cello 1. Very interesting. It's made by Air Expand 2. Basically, you have these different channels, all kinds of things like delay, feedback, all kinds of stuff, attack, decay that you can change. But just right off the bat, you can go into the presets, and there's all these presets: soft pads, bright pads, huge pads, synth brass, soft leads, okay, strings, vocals, brass, mallets, okay. And so for this particular one, for the cello, we've picked sad formant strings. I thought it sounded the best, so that's what I did. And let's arm it so you can hear that. And so this is the cello on a cheap stock plugin. Okay. And then we're going to move to the next one, expand again. And this time I picked a solo violin. Okay, solo violin. We're going to arm that track so you can hear it. You know, nothing too hard. Okay. And then for that fast legato cello that we were talking about later on the song as it crescendos, it's called legato tremolo. Okay. I'm going to arm it so you can hear it. Okay. And again, you can change all the controls on that if you want to, if you don't like what's taking place. But again, just a cheap, really cheap, comes with Pro Tools, and all the different DAWs have the capability of cheap stock plugins. Okay. But now we're going to move over to one of my favorite, which is Complete. Okay. We're going to pull that up. I'm going to get rid of this guy right here. And we're going to pull up the native instruments, which are plenty. This whole ultimate pack comes with all kinds of goodies. I'm going to pull up Complete Control Stereo. It's going to take a second to load. Okay. And here we go. It gives you a little menu box here that you can pick from. And there are all kinds of packs in here. One of the coolest ones that I like is Alicia Keys. If you want to play piano, I mean, you know, there's all kinds of plugins out there, but she's even got her own pack here in Native Instruments. Okay. And I'm just going to click on it. And so that gives you just presets. Now you can change any of these presets, but right off the bat, you could be playing her plugin of Audience Small Auditorium. Okay. Here's Concert. Okay. So that's very interesting. Okay. Concert Hall, Big Studio, Small Auditorium, Alicia Keys, Big Auditorium. Okay. And we just select the X and get out of it, and then we can just scroll back through here. And along with this ultimate pack that I have, there's drums from Abbey Road. So it's not just instruments like strings or piano, but there's also drums in there and all kinds of one-shot beats. Another great one that I like is called Action Strings 2. And just incidentally, you can hit a star on any of these you like as you curate some of the ones that you like. And that's what I've done. I've curated some of these, like this one right here, I've starred, and Action Hooks. Absolutely amazing. You could definitely hear that with any kind of genre of music, but definitely after that, some heavy guitars coming in and a full band, right? Here's one called Adrenaline. Alien 3000. Okay, so a lot of options here. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but there are so many options. You can use strings or like this. These are just presets where there's arpeggios that are already preset for you, or you can just pick out. We can scroll all the way down here and actually go to symphony instruments, and you play just like we did with the Expand 2 and play the actual instruments. Let's go in here to Symphony Ensemble, And let's double click on like the cellos. Absolutely amazing right there. I mean, that sounds so legit. Okay, we played our whole track with the subpar kind of stock plugin, which sounded great in the mix. It sounds great, but this sounds so rich, you know. Cellos, basses. Here's the violas, violins. And of course, like we said, you can change all this up any way that you want to: the legato, the attack, the release, the brightness. Okay. Here's our brass. Okay. We talked before about Metallica's Unforgiven. A lot of different options here, different horns and brass. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Another thing I want to show you is the guitars. Now, you may not want to do this. Okay, there is a guitar for people who aren't guitarists, and you can go in here and load these up. Okay, basically, you load up an electric guitar, and you can change how it strums. You can change everything about it, but just on the presets. And so you can actually play whatever song, throw it apart if you want to. Okay, so a lot of options there. Another good one I like is that's very usable is the acoustic guitar. Okay, so I'm gonna load this up. So maybe you don't have, maybe you're a guitarist, maybe you can do all the guitar parts, but maybe you don't have a good scenario for your acoustic guitar. You don't have a great acoustic guitar, or recording is a little issue. Maybe the phasing of the two mics, or trying to get a good sound. And you can just go through here and hit some presets and easily put together just a little bit of acoustic guitar for your next track. Okay, so a lot of options here. And then we're going to finish out with a couple more presets that are absolutely amazing. I love this Farlight. Very cinematic. Probably one shots that you could do in your songs. I could definitely hear that in a song, in a verse, or at the beginning or end of a song. Absolutely amazing. We're going to go to another one. Let's see. I think it's called Stray Light. There's Ethereal. That's a great one. I want to play for you. Absolutely amazing. This is called Ethereal. And of course, I don't know if I told you, you can change all these settings. You can drill in here. These are just the presets. Angelic Whispers. Okay. Let's go in here. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention is there are some really famous third-party preset packages you can buy. There's one by Spitfire that a lot of people like to use, I think called One or something like that. I've got one of those that I bought that I absolutely loved, so I bought that entire bundle and loaded it in here. It's in here somewhere. So you can even buy third-party. It doesn't just have to be Native Instrument patches or bundles. Okay. There's one up here called Ashlight. that I'd like to play. That one's great too. This one is it's just too cool. Aerial is the preset. Again, you can change all the settings. Here's another one called All Is Lost. This sounds like John Wick to me. Amazing. Let's do one more. Let's see if I can find that. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's some of my third parties. Yeah, Albion 1 by Spitfire. Yes, a lot of people like to use these for strings and brass. Here's some brass. Okay. And I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in here. It's absolutely crazy. Apocalypse, let's try that. So they have some ethereal patches as well. They've got, let's see, electrified. There's something called an electrocuted choir. Okay. And then down here, somewhere in here, there's even all kinds of strings that people love to use. Here's some organ, dark organ. So many presets. I mean, I've never even gone through all these presets, but you just go through a few of these presets and it will give you some inspiration, I'm telling you, and some little nuances that you can add to any song. Here's some of the strings. Okay, so a lot of options here. Hopefully this helps you. And again, you can use something like that, or you can use even a free, stock plugin that came right here. That sounds great as well. It's really up to you. All kinds of options. You don't have to hire somebody to help you with this, and you can just be a noodler around on your keyboard and be able to, as you saw, I'm just a noodler, and I was able to put in a little intro, a little string intro that went through my entire song. So hopefully this helps you.